Dearest gentle reader, we have been apart for far too long.
The reason behind her boredom is the fact she's searching for something a little bit different, you know? She's bored of what's happened in the last 2 seasons and how it's happened and the way that she does it. And I think with Jess Browning at the helm this time, I think it's really interesting that Jess has kind of, you know, shaken up the characters a little bit and kind of given them a little bit of unsteadiness. And I think that's where we see Queen Charlotte and a number of the other characters just kind of you know, that kind of twitchy, uncomfortable, ants in your pants kind of vibe, you know?
It's quite a nerve-wracking time for Violet, I think, because she's so messed up with Eloise the previous last season that she's not only nervous of persuading Eloise to do it, to be involved anymore, but she's also nervous of making the same mistake with Francesca. But also, at the same time, Francesca seems so uninterested in anything other than let's just get married. That makes me nervous. So it's quite a tricky one, really. It is quite tricky.
So as far as we go with the first part, you simply know there is somebody. So I think Lady Dambre is already feeling like, I just want to step back. And I think the arrival of this somebody really throws her off her game. It's like we know from the Queen Charlotte origin story that she had, you know, she came from a situation where she was used for a marriage. She's put into a marriage that isn't of her choice to somebody she doesn't love. I would call it marital rape. That's her experience of marriage. He dies. She's powerless. She has to make decisions and have strategies that allow her to keep her family secure. So she's come from a fragile place and she's constructed this sort of superwoman who seems unwavering in everything. And then somebody comes from her past and kind of pulls the rug out from underneath her. So so she has quite a wobbly time, and I think she loves Violet. We're sort of seeing a resolution of how their friendship continues. And she doesn't want this person to destabilize her life or mess with her friend's life, just as her friend is tentatively going, I could still have a personal life. She doesn't want this person to come along and damage that desire. So yeah, it's tricky times all round, I think.
Yeah.
Jess Brownell is
Jess
just
Brownell.
chuck the just chuck a stone in the pond and make it
exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd love to say they've made up in between seasons. I really wish that was what it was. It'd be terrible TV making. Yeah, I think they've had a lot of time apart, like a whole summer apart. And during that summer, Cressida has shown a lot of kindness to Eloise.
That went down.
Yeah, because we haven't seen that either, actually. No. But it does happen. And I think, you know, we saw them fall apart. She sort of lost this connection she had with Theo as well, the printer, and she's sort of left alone. And, you know, she's comes from a really nurturing environment. She's got a family that really love her, but I think, you know, there's also a bit of a loving eye roll with Eloise as well, as you do with your family members. So I think she might feel just a little bit alone, but she's been shown kindness. And I think, in spite of herself, she sort of wants to see what all the fuss is about. But I don't think she's very happy. She's very upset with the betrayal. I think, more than anything, I think she's embarrassed as well. So I think she's sort of in a place where she's like, I'm going to live my life and you're going to live yours. But, you know, Penelopes fans out there, I don't want you to lose complete hope. But yeah, I think there's going to be a bit of a battle before they're skipping through Daffodil Fields again.
I think she was drawn to the idea of becoming friends with Eloise because she does love a scandal. She likes something that's talked about, and obviously, you know, the Ton are not exactly best pleased with Eloise at the moment. So I think there's an attraction to that, and she did try in season 2 to befriend her, and was told that she would rather die than be friends with me. So that was a tough thing to take. No, but yeah, I think she saw an opportunity of someone who didn't have anyone around her, and I guess she kind of did a little like, I pick you. You know, as some people do, like, who's next? You.
That one.
And yeah, and it became a big friendship for her, and taught her an awful lot.
I mean, it's a completely new environment for her. It's not something that they can really, they prepare for it their whole lives, but until you're actually in this environment, you can't know what you're going to feel like. And yeah, she is a slightly more introverted character compared to her siblings, and she doesn't have her siblings to hide behind now. She has to work out who she is as her own person. And I think as the season goes on, that is, as much as she's getting to know these men, she's also getting to know herself and what it is that she wants. And that might look slightly different to what her siblings want, but having the confidence to be like, that's okay.
Yeah, I think journeying from season 1 to now, I think Will and Alice have built some strong foundations. And I imagine even before season 1, you know, they've had a solid relationship, which the Duke benefits from our advice and how we are as a family. So I think, yeah, I think it's about finding that essence, that authenticity.
I think the private moments were always there, even in season 1, and I think a lot of it is the looks. It's the secret conversation you're having around the conversation that's in front of you. So I think we're maybe not leaning more into it, but I think more of it is being captured this season.
Yeah.
And then the second part of your question, leaning into the opulence. I think it's a jagged journey,
yeah,
but we get there.